Thursday, and yeah, I finished 2 books today, so let's have a little chit chat about that, shall we? First book I finished, I'm going to show you both copies I have because they're both beautiful. Ta-da! Ooh, beautiful. Yes. Okay, so I finished reading The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon, and it messed with me so much I had to take a nap afterward. So, it's an excellent addition to her Bone Season series. However, it hurt. It hurt. Like, people talk about a chapter in this book called Even Fall. And like, oh, this is the one that's gonna break you. I didn't get that feeling. I didn't get that. Like, it was a good chapter. I felt like, oh, wow, look at this twist in the story. How interesting, yada, yada, yada. It's everything that happened after Even Fall that messed with my head, all right? Like, it got me in the feels. I'm not a feels kind of person. I keep those things buried. Don't let those out in the world. I had to take a nap because this book messed with me in a good way. Like, it hurt. It was painful, but it was wonderful. It was wonderfully written. Samantha Shannon did a magnificent job, as always. Like, I expect nothing less of her. Yeah, it hurt though. I think it's giving me a bit of a book hangover because, like, I have other stuff I want to read, but I just can't bring myself to pick it up right now. But if you enjoy the Bone Season, if you enjoy dystopian fantasy, highly recommend. Excellent. Love it. Like, I don't read big books. Like, for me, 400 pages is my max. This sucker is over 500, and I still finished in 2 days, which is insane for me. Like, understand that. Normally a book like this would be like a 2-week endeavor. 2 days. So yeah, here we are. Loved it though. Excellent, highly recommend. 10 out of 10. All for the pain and feels. The other book I read was for, I think I talked to you about it yesterday. It was for the Buzzwordathon that Books and Lala holds. I read Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I finished that one this morning. I'm giving it a 5 again. This is my reread of it. Definitely a 5 out of 5 again. I just love the book. I think she did, it's a really well written retelling of the Rumpelstiltskin myth. And it's magnificent, and it ties up all the loose ends at the end. It had everything I wanted. It had magic and adventure and a lot of wonderful character building. It's a good book. I recommend it. I read the audiobook. The narrator is absolutely fantastic. She really gives a great atmosphere to an otherwise already good story. So, thumbs up for that. The other book I'm in the middle of right now, Malice by Heather Walter. I'm still about 45% through. I haven't read any more of it today. Hopefully I will later, but I haven't done much. Today was my day off. I spent it reading the last third of this sucker and doing dishes because that's what adults do, right? Yeah, maybe I need to find another hobby, right? I don't know. But yeah, that's all that's going on right now. Talk to you soon. Hey, yeah, today is Thursday, and as long as the footage didn't get screwed up, just a second ago you'd have saw me writing. That's all you would have seen. But what I was doing was making a TBR jar. Now, the TBR jar, put it in this lovely little, I think this is a quote from Night Circus, Erin Morgenstern. I love this little thing. It's actually a bank. So it's a bank. It's from OwlCrate. I'm never going to use it as a bank, so I'm using it as my TBR jar. Now, what I'm doing, earlier in the year, I decided I wanted, because I'm really behind on all my OwlCrate books, I decided that I wanted to try and read at least 2 OwlCrate books a month. Now I managed that in January. This is now February. It's February 4th. I haven't picked up an OwlCrate book yet. I haven't decided which one to read. I don't know. None of them are really reaching out and crawling at me, you know? So I decided to make a TBR jar 10 bank thing. So yeah, what I'm going to do is here with you. I like the rattly noise. Anyway, I'm going to open up my little jar and we're gonna pick a book, and that's gonna be my next OwlCrate book. Simple, straightforward, easy to process, right? So let's do that. Let's see, I've got all of them in here. Let's just give them a good shake. Woo! All right. Not looking. You see me? Well shaken. I think there's 13 or 14 books in this little shenanigan. You think I should have counted them first. I didn't. I just wrote down the ones I own I haven't read yet. So let's see what's going to be my next OwlCrate book. Please be one I think I might like. It is. I'm going to show you before I look. Ooh. All right, what is this? Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. This is the book in question, Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. This is the OwlCrate edition. I believe it arrived sometime early in 2020. Beautiful sprayed edges. I believe the original version of this has a black background where this one has a white. Shay Earnshaw, I've actually read before. One of her first book, The Wicked Deep. I have it as an audiobook. And I read it since it came out. I read it every fall. It's excellent. It's a wonderful book. Very well written, very atmospheric. It is much more of a plot-driven than character-driven book. So I honestly don't remember what this one's about. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping that I love it as much as I love The Wicked Deep. Now let's read the synopsis and we'll find out together. Be careful of the dark, dark wood, especially the woods surrounding the town of Fir Haven. Some say these woods are magical, cursed even. Rumored to be a witch, only Nora Walker knows the truth. She and the Walker women before her have always shared a special connection with the woods, and it's this special connection that leads Nora to Oliver Huntsman, the same boy who disappeared from the camp for wayward boys weeks ago, and in the middle of the worst snowstorm in years. He should be dead. But here he is alive and left in the woods with no memory of the time he'd been missing. So, sounds like it might be witchy. That could be fun. Keep an eye out. I'll do updates, reading updates with this. Speaking of reading updates, I believe I mentioned that I finished The Mask Falling. If I didn't, loved it. Give it 4.5 out of 5. Gonna do a full review of that book because it's excellent and it probably will be a spoilery review. FYI. I also finished Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Again, I don't remember if I already mentioned this. For you, it's been 5 minutes. For me, it's been a full day. Actually 2 days because I didn't talk to you yesterday. So I don't know. Spinning Silver, it was a reread. 5 out of 5. Great book. Also did that one as an audio. The narrator is just fantastic. And I'm also reading right now Queen of Volts by Amanda Foody. That is the 3rd book in her Ace of Shades trilogy. It came out sometime in 2020. I've had it on hold at the library for quite some time and it finally came in, so I'm reading that. I should have given myself a little refresher about what happened in the first 2 books because I found out I really don't remember. I did remember a certain character that I particularly loved, kicking the bucket. And yeah, it's kind of taken the joy out of the 3rd book for me a little bit because I really enjoyed that character and I just don't think anyone else is quite as dynamic or interesting as that particular character was. Yeah, I'm going to finish that one up. We're going to read Winterwood, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do as my audiobook because I DNF'd my last audiobook, which was Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. I know that's a well-loved book. I know a lot of people enjoy it. I gave it a shot. Not for me. I've tried it. I got about 25% through and it's just really not for me. I don't like the the idea that the children's parents have abandoned them just because they were a little different, because they were having a little bit of issues. Having a little girl myself, that really bothered me, and I don't want to read that. It makes me very upset, and I don't like it. What's funny is I can read murders and things all day long, but screw with children and I just get really upset. But yes, children and animals, we can't do that. So yeah, my next read is going to be Winter Keep. I'm in the middle of Queen of Volts by Amanda Foody, and I will talk to you next time I have an update. Hi guys, it is Saturday, and I just wanted to give you a last update before I went to bed tonight, because it's already after 10 and I am tired. So, last time we talked, I grabbed the wrong book. Let's grab the right one. Last time we talked, I had pulled Winterwood from my OwlCrate reading tin, which is over there, and I'm not going to grab it. But I pulled that out of my reading tin. I'm like, hey, I'm going to read this sometime this week, and instead I ended up reading this in 2 days. This was a really good book. It is a more contemporary YA fantasy mystery type book. I'm usually not a contemporary kind of person, but it was really good. It was super atmospheric. I've seen some negative reviews of it. I saw on Goodreads said that they didn't enjoy it because they could tell the mystery part of it early on. And my thought is the mystery portion of this, and it does give it away in the description, so I'm not spoilering anything. The mystery part is a ghost, and you comes across very early on who this ghost is. And I think if you don't go in understanding that it's not about the ghost, it's about the main character. I believe her name is Nora. It's about her growing and coming into her heritage and understanding the power that she has. It's not so much about the ghost story, just this ghost and the story that revolves around that progresses her story and discovering herself. So I think if you go into it understanding that, is a much better story than if you just go into it going, oh, ghost, contemporary, thriller, horror, whatever you want to call it. It is very much more of a coming of age story that just happens to have a ghost involved with it. I gave this a 4 out of 5. It's a really good book. I would highly recommend it. And the other book I finished this week, I can't see, so I'm going to clean my glasses while I chat with you, was Queen of Volts by Amanda Foody. That is the 3rd book in her Ace of Shades trilogy. Now, Ace of Shades, the first book, it was pretty good. I liked it okay. It was enough that I enjoyed it enough that I still read the 2nd book, which was... It's not coming to me right now, and I can't see doodly until I get my glasses cleaned and back on. But I really enjoyed the 2nd book. I felt like it built upon the characters a lot more, and you could really get a good idea, oh, hello, where they were going and where the story was going. You felt a lot of build-up, a lot of stuff that had been set up in the first book, they built on in the 2nd one, and there was a lot of tension. It was really good character building. However, Queen of Volts, I gave a 1.5. It was absolutely terrible. This is the 2nd book this year I've given a 1.5, actually. Even though all the character building was there and she'd set everything up, like, it just went to hell in a handbasket. In the 3rd book, none of the character building meant anything. We ended up with soft boy and bitchy girl, and we're supposed to love that. And it's not my thing. Didn't like it. Made no sense. The story, like, and the book was 90% dialogue, like, probably more than that. Like every line was dialogue, and it was just ridiculous, and there were too many points of view. And the only character I actually liked was killed off in the 2nd book. So like there was nothing left for me to root for. There was nothing left I cared about. All the characters I hated all of them, quite frankly. Like I said, you had soft boy and bitchy girl, and you're supposed to root for them, and I didn't care to. I didn't care for them whatsoever. They could fall off a cliff. So 1.5. Hated it. Like, I hated it so much that I probably won't read Amanda Foody's next book, because how much I hated that. Okay, so it was bad. Other than that, I haven't read anything else. For next week, we will pull another little tag from my OwlCrate bin and see what happens with that. But until then, Hope you're doing great, and I'll see you next time.